This next commitment was sort of previewed, I noticed in my morning reading, in an article in the New York Times today, but it is profoundly important for what it might mean for the whole pattern of long-term investment by people in charge of pension funds and other big funds interested in steady, reliable, patient returns. I want to invite to the stage, on behalf of the 55 unions and the American Federation of Labor and the Congress of Industrial Organizations, Randy Weingarten, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, and Mark Ayers, the president of the Building and Construction Trades Department. The president of the AFL-CIO, Rich Trumpka, had planned to be here today, but because of illness was unable to make the trip. I do want to thank him as I announce this commitment. I want you all to listen to this carefully. First of all, what's the challenge? While countries such as China spend as much as 9% of their income on infrastructure, the U.S. invests just 3% each year on our roads, bridges, railways, water systems, and other public works. This has had a particularly bad effect on America's construction industry, where unemployment is over 16%. And in some states, thanks to the collapse of housing and other construction, is more than twice that. Investing in infrastructure can get Americans back to work and also enhance our energy independence and the sustainability of our whole way of life. It is good economics. What's the problem? We don't have the same capacity as we spend money now and collect it to amass the significant amounts of capital required for these kinds of investments. Last year, just for example, China spent more money on absolute dollars, not as a percentage of their income, on trying to dominate the solar technology market of the future than everybody else combined. And that's just one example. The AFL-CIO is committed to work with financial institutions to create new investment vehicles to invest for profit at least $10 billion in their workers' capital from public and private pension funds into America's infrastructure. The money will be raised over the next 5 years to construct and repair bridges, improve utilities, and undertake other projects to make the U.S. more competitive and energy efficient. This is an unprecedented collaboration between labor, government, investors, and business groups like Johnson Controls, one of the largest energy service companies in the country, which I work with on the Empire State Building. They put in their technology and guaranteed the savings on all these energy retrofit projects, which makes them a safe investment for investors. Because if the savings don't materialize to service the investment, the energy service company makes up the difference. Deutsche Bank Climate Change Advisors. Deutsche Bank is important because they did a study which proved that Germany netted 300,000 new jobs in a country 1/4 our size from the subsidies they put in to get ahead of us as the leading producer and user of solar photovoltaics. And a partnership for New York City, where my foundation is located and which is also doing great work in energy and other construction. The partners are working to engage state treasurers to ensure that these investments are structured in ways that make fiduciary sense. In the next year alone, labor-affiliated funds will invest at least $20 million in energy-efficient building retrofits, creating an immediate well of new construction jobs. As I said, of all the energy investments you can make, these are by far the most labor-intensive. And what this long-term investment means is that all the public buildings can afford to do retrofits now because they can structure the return so that they make an appropriate profit for the funds that invest, and they allow the building's investment to be paid off long enough term so that they can be paid off entirely from lower utility costs. So that at a time when taxpayers are strapped and public agencies are strapped, you just have to say yes, because you can finance the cost of this only from the savings in your monthly utility bill. This is huge. This is the first time we have ever had anybody willing to put enough money into this that would prove what I know is the truth, and that this is good business for people who are willing to invest patient capital and need not exorbitant but predictable positive returns for the people they represent in a way that will create jobs in America. Also this year, working with the Obama administration and community colleges, the AFL-CIO will train 40,000 apprentices and help 100,000 mid-career construction workers to get new skills and certifications that are more relevant to the modern economy. And let me just say a word about the AFL-CIO President, Rich Trumka. He can't be here with us today, and I'm sorry, because we started this conversation last January when we happened to be together speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos. And I'm very grateful for the work that has been done here, and he has promised to give us a progress report at CGI in September. So let's give the American labor movement a big hand for putting America back to work.